Hello, welcome to Monday.
Howdy, folks. How are we?
I think I'm tired of playing that national anthem. It has nothing to do with playing that particular national anthem. I love that version of the national anthem. But like Bob opens the show every day with like the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
Well, I think that the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance have kind of lost its luster with everything that's going on in this country.
So you're giving up?
Kind of. I mean, we're not the same America that we used to be. We're not, what I want it to be. We're littered with, and I do mean littered with illegals, and we got scumbag politicians. When Trump is the least of our bad politicians, that's really saying something.
Yeah. Well, they're all garbage.
They're all
garbage.
I'm saying of all the thieves, scumbags, and pieces of crap that we have in office, when Trump is the least of the worst, that's man, we're in some trouble. And so now when I hear the anthem, when I hear the Pledge of Allegiance, I kind of sit back and I go, what the hell's the difference? What am I doing? Why am I pledging to this country that is such garbage?
Yeah, we need a better theme. What could we use as a better theme? Should we go Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah, maybe. But they're anti-America. They're.
I know. It should be perfect.
I guess it'd be perfect.
They hate America. That would be perfect for this.
The problem is, there's not a song that we could play and get away with playing without the show being, from the very open of the show, being taken off of YouTube. I don't think you can really copyright the national anthem. We've never really gotten yelled at for that. And
well, I mean, we could play that Rage song, though, that "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me." Because that sort of fits, doesn't it?
Yeah,
the government sure ain't doing what we're telling them.
We just kick her off. I mean, she's so fucking stupid sometimes. It drives me crazy. Trump is the scummiest of all scumbags. Give me breaks.
I like her.
Glasses. She's an idiot, though.
I mean,
if you can honestly say that in the country that we live in today, with that asshole that we have in charge, who doesn't know what day it is, and whoever's controlling him, then I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what world are you living in, Heidi? Seriously, I mean, I know that you have a point that you want to prove, you want to get on, you want to aggravate me.
It's working.
You have this agenda on your mind, but seriously, what point are you trying to prove? Just how fucking dumb you actually are? I mean, what point are you proving? I don't get it anymore. When you have a country that is literally overrun with millions of people that don't belong here, they beat up the police. You have a president in office who obviously gave money to his family, who had a son that he was using to funnel money to all kind of different shell companies so his family could make millions. They're an organized crime family, is what they are. When you have a president like that who can't form a sentence, you're going to say that Trump is the scummiest?
Oh, yeah.
When you have wars going on all over the world because of who's in office, how can you say that? She has an agenda, and it's fine.
I just like that it took her like 3 seconds to get under your skin.
Well, because I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with the way things are going. I've lost faith in our country, and it's because of people like her.
Yeah. Well, people that lean on that side, they don't ever accept any part of the responsibility or the blame.
You got a new current thing to be mad out. I see. I don't understand what that means.
Mad about?
Mad out. Well, she said mad out. I see. I'm trying to figure out what that actually means.
I'm always mad about Rachel Maddow. Does that count?
I mean,
that guy should never be on TV.
Take out the previous thing chip and point in a new current thing chip.
She's saying that you're just led by the fucking media. The same as
is she drinking?
I don't know. She's saying the same. Dude, it's so funny when you step back, when you're kind of centralized in it, where you really don't give a fuck about either side, as I don't. You really do see the same arguments on both sides, just purposely pushing to see if the other side can get mad. When really it's all fucking garbage. We all have to accept that. Instead of trying to say, well, Trump is better than Biden or Biden is better than Trump. How about this? They're all shitheads. And there's none better than the other. Anybody that's fucking a person over is a shithead.
Look, There is better than the other, though. When the country was run under Donald Trump, things were running okay. Well, the way the country is run now is garbage. I don't care necessarily whether they're crappy people or not, because Heidi's, I guarantee you, a crappy person. There's a lot of crappy people out there. I'm a crappy person. There's a lot of shit that I do that isn't right.
But
I'm not judging character. What I'm judging is the country is run into the ground, and it's because of the left. It's because of the crazy people like Heidi on the left. That's what it is. That's why the country's in the ground.
I say it's because of the crazy on both sides that won't stop it.
What?
I say it's the crazy on both sides that won't stop it. There's ways to stop it, but we all would have to unite. How about if we just stop paying any kind of taxes? Stop giving them the money to fucking feed these crimes on any side.
Well, Chiselka, we're not going to all unite, all right? It's just not going to happen. You can't get people to protest against PSLs at Brown Stadium. You think you're going to get the country to unite on anything? So that's not going to happen.
So then it's never going to be fixed. But that's the part that you have to accept, is that it isn't going to be fixed.
I've accepted that. It's never going to be fixed.
But you can't cheerlead for one side being better than the other side.
Yes, I can. Because if I have to pick, you have to pick one. You have to pick a side to be on.
I haven't picked a side to be on. I'm not on either side. I think they all fucking suck.
But by your logic, then, if everybody fucking sucks, you're just not going to do anything about it. You're just going to sit back and whatever happens, happens.
I'm going to do what I do. I don't care what the government tells me anymore. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
If they pick anything, pick any topic, and I'll tell you that I won't follow along. If they say they're coming to get my guns, they're going to have to kill me to get them. If they say that I can't get a chick pregnant and have an abortion, then I'm going to show them with fucking clothes hangers that I can. I am going to do what I'm going to do. When the pandemic happened and they told me I had to close my business, I told them to go fuck themselves. I absolutely did. I didn't care. I was like, I'm not going to follow along. I'm not going to do what you tell me. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me, as Rage Against the Machine so eloquently put it. You have to live for you now. We have to accept that every bit of government is against us. They are against us on one side or the other, but they're all still against us. None of it is truly for us.
That's
none of it. But it's true. It's a true thought.
Fix the dog shit country, dude. That's a scary thought.
Oh, that can't happen. That can't. When are they going to fix it? When they settle in on fucking that they have to work 40 hours? It's never going to happen.
They can't figure out a job, much less how to run the country. Probably overturning Citizens United at the top.
Do it then. It's all big and bold till you have to actually do something.
But see, under your theory of you say you don't want to do anything, and so you're not going to pick a side. So my question is, if you don't pick a side, then you're fine with illegals just storming through our border. You're fine with inflation the way that it is, and spending the kind of prices that you have to spend on groceries and everything else. I mean, this fool Heidi says, "Hey, the economy is a juggernaut." Okay. The stock market may be doing great, as propped up as it is, but when you go to the grocery store or the gas station, you're still feeling the pain when you actually have to pull your wallet out. Idiot. Has nothing to do with us regular people.
Yeah, well, it never has.
I mean, Heidi, I don't know how old you are, but I remember the days of actually going to the grocery store and being able to feed my family of 3 for a reasonable amount of money. When I went to the grocery store the other day and I bought very little, I bought some pop, I bought a couple of things for food, and walked out of there with $100 tab. I mean, that's ridiculous. For what I bought, it was ridiculous. So you can look at the stock market all you want and think that it's fantastic. But when you have to go pay for stuff, you realize how much it sucks.
Yeah. So you're asking me what my solution is?
Under your theory of not picking a side, then you're just going to let everything stay the same, and who cares?
As opposed to what? What has picking a side done for you?
Well, I'm going to say when Donald Trump was in office, gas was better. There were no wars like there are now. Immigration was next to nothing compared to what it is over the last 3 years when this fool's been in office. And Everybody knows that. You can see that with your own eyes.
So your side is Donald Trump, though, not the Republicans.
Well, I think most of the Republicans suck ass. And again, I don't like Donald Trump as a person. I like his policies, though. I like the policy of the other countries like Iran were afraid to do shit when he was in office. And now that you have a pussy like Biden in office, they get away with whatever they want to get away with. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't do anything.
No,
he
doesn't.
warns our enemies that we're going to attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but dude, it's a common thread. It's always been a common thread. You're just looking now because you're in the now. You can look back to Bush 2. You can look back to Clinton. You can look back to Bush 1. You can look all the way back to Reagan. All of these guys were fucking scumbags. All of them. Every single one of them committed treason under the line of what treason is. But we tend to look at certain ones better than other ones because we're cheerleaders for that side of the roster. Everybody looks at Ronald Reagan as the great guy. You know, there's a lot of people that will argue he was the last great president. I personally look at him and see him as the reason that worldwide, but specifically United States-wide, our economy is a goddamn disaster. Ronald Reagan did that to us, not anybody else. Everybody else has piggybacked onto what Ronald Reagan did. Ronald Reagan said, we don't need a balanced budget. Ronald Reagan said, we can just take debt and we can sell debt. We can sell an intangible to somebody else and put them into debt by buying that debt. Ronald Reagan did that, which is now why we have what is the debt today? 20 goddamn gazillion dollars. It's because there's no reason to pay debt, which makes inflation go up all over the board in the United States. And then when you go past the United States, it impacts everything else that's purchased outside of the United States and sold to us because they know we can't pay. Ronald Reagan fucked this country as much or more than anybody else in the history of this country. But he's looked at as a great president. Why? Because the Republicans don't have anything else to hang their hat on.
When there was a war in Iraq, he said he'd end it. He didn't. He said he'd get the troops out. He didn't. No. The one that was Afghanistan, and he did set a date for getting the troops out. And oh, by the way, Biden did it so 15 Americans got killed. So that's what happened when Biden was in charge of getting troops out of Afghanistan. 15 Americans died. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, I know one of the families.
Yeah, Biden's a piece of shit.
And there weren't any wars going on. In fact, there was peace in the Middle East for the first time in a kabillion years when Donald Trump was in office.
Okay. So then Donald Trump is what, the great savior?
I didn't say he was a great savior. What I said was he's better than everything we have now.
All right. Well, that's like saying that lung cancer is better than fucking colon cancer.
Is it? It is.
It's kind of the same exact thing.
I don't think so.
It's all cancer. It all kills you, just like these fucking politicians.
There are degrees of cancer, and you know this. There are certain cancers that are treatable. There are certain cancers that are not. When it came to presidencies, Donald Trump actually ran this country right. Biden has not.
Well, I'm going to put it this way. Right
I'm saying that they all suck.
Politician, name any politician, I will say that their level of cancer is greater than skin cancer.
Not to mention that all the military stuff that Biden left behind in Afghanistan, yes.
Every politician is stage 4 cancer with hospice care. They hate America. They hate freedom. They want power. All of them. Donald Trump wants power. He's just not such a scumbag in this one way that he hides the fact that he wants to be the big cheese. But Donald Trump wants to be the king as much as anybody wants to be the king.
I want somebody that's going to put America first. You can call it a cliche, you can call it a slogan or whatever you want to call it, but I want somebody that puts America first. Why are we in New York City handing out $1,000 gift cards to illegals when we have veterans that are on the streets? Why in Washington would we spend $340 million of COVID money, by the way, taking care of illegals, making sure they can go to college, making sure they have food and housing, When we, again, have veterans all across this country that aren't taken care of.
Yeah.
When we have homeless of our own that are on the streets that aren't taken care of. We're taking care of illegals over here. Why is that? Why is it that 5 illegals can come over and beat the shit out of a couple of cops and walk out with no bail, walk out with no jail? Now they've left for California and the border. You're never going to find those guys. And why are we taking care of them?
I don't disagree, but I'll only add to
president, not the
but
president
hold on,
we had before.
Wrong. Disagree with most of your statement because of that. Because the homeless thing and the homeless veterans thing is not a 3-year problem. It is a 50 fucking year problem. But so it is every president's problem. It's not just Trump or Biden. It's every president.
But he is letting those illegals in here.
Okay, will you acknowledge that Trump did not help the veterans?
I will
get off
Trump
the street.
Absolutely help the veterans.
Did he help them get off the street?
But did he help everything? No, he didn't.
Did he help them get off the street? Did he stop homeless? Did he stop U.S. veterans from being homeless?
I don't think anybody
put him above. No, but that doesn't make it okay then because everybody did it.
We are giving gift cards to fucking people that don't deserve to be here. He did not do that, did he?
And it's totally shitty. No.
Did Trump do that?
No.
Did Trump spend $340 million of COVID money on fucking illegals that don't deserve to be
I don't think Biden did either. I think fucking
absolutely he did.
No, I think the mayor of fucking
Did
New
you
York
read the
did
story?
That.
He
no,
absolutely
not.
knew what was going on in the state of Washington. He absolutely knew what was going on. Again, he's a crook. He's a criminal.
I agree. Dude, you're arguing with somebody that you don't have to convince me. He should be on death row with all the other presidents. They're all fucking crooks. All of them. You're not selling to the choir here or not preaching to the unsold. I think that they're all criminals. Every last fucking one of them. And that goes further than presidents to me. That goes to mayors and councilmen and congressmen and senators. They're all fucking shit.
Yeah, and let's also, like Sandy says, I mean, there is, truth to the fact that the entire time that Trump was in office, he was being accused of Russian collusion and everything else under the sun.
I'm not saying he had an easier time. I'm not saying that at all. He had a harder time.
And
that still doesn't make
you
failures not failings.
You have to vote for one. So who are you going to vote for?
I vote with bullets.
Okay, but that's unrealistic. You live in a country that's based on, it's a republic that's based on democracy, and you have to vote for somebody. The majority of the country is not going to sit around with guns in their hands shooting people.
You do not have to honor them. You do not have to honor them.
The majority of normal people are going to have to go to a voting booth in November and vote for somebody. And who would you vote for?
Who would I vote for? Anybody but what we have. Anybody but what we have. If the choice is Trump, then it'll be Trump. Honestly, I know you think that I'm all of a sudden being Trump hater guy. I'm not. If it's Trump versus Biden or Trump versus Kamala, I'm voting for Trump. That's simple. If it's Vivek or Biden, I'm voting for Vivek. If it's Vivek or Michelle Obama, I'm voting for Vivek. If it's DeSantis, I'm voting for DeSantis. I'm not voting for what we have.
If it's Nikki Haley or Biden, I'm leaving the country.
But you won't.
I will. I'm going to Mexico. I'll trade places. I'll trade with an illegal.
Yeah, I just think that
I like burritos. I've had a good taco every now and then.
Yeah, I have too. I love them.
Watch 60 Minutes, that Chinese crawling through the unwalled area on Mexico border while border agents watch. From all over the place. It's not just Mexicans. It's terrorists coming into this. Under Biden's watch, 172 fucking terrorists have gotten into this country.
It's a lot. I just can't. I cannot personally think that.
You mean the Russian probe that led to indictments for people? You mean the Russian probes that were proven to be false?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has been. Again, But we're not doing it. If we're not going to do anything about it, then why worry about it? Okay, everything you're saying is true, Seth. I'm not arguing that point. Yeah, Trump had a terrible time. Yeah, Trump was fucking beaten down by every scumbag, whatever policy. Now he's being beaten down. Now he's being legaled to death. They're using the legal system as a weapon. All of that's true. But what is anybody doing about it? They're crying about it on fucking TikTok. Nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's saying. Mayor Dumbass in Cleveland is doing nothing for this city. But what is anybody doing about it? Not a goddamn thing.
RFK Jr. is a big wild card. No, look, this is how bad the Democrats are. They wouldn't even let him run against Biden. They wouldn't even let another person run against this fool.
Well, now I see why Heidi wants the Mexicans to come across the border.
That's where you get them. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I feel bad, Heidi. I apologize.
It's good labor in that business.
Her staff is all. She pays them in pesos. I get it. I'm sorry.
See, you knew there was a reason.
Eventually, it came out.
You knew there was a reason.
We have no workers? What do we have no workers? What do? You go around pushing a lawnmower, Heidi?
Robots.
Jig us up, Heidi. Now we know. We got it. Just me and my dad. Well, I support you. It's just you and your dad. Good for you guys. I'm happy that you have a nice business.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with hard work.
Hope you have an electric mower.
Yeah, really.
Hope you can plug that fucking thing in because that's what you're going to be doing here shortly.
Be charging your mower at sheets for 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah. I'm going to see Heidi standing at the electric pump for like 2 days trying to charge her lawnmower.
Just sitting on top of the mower waiting for it to charge. I agree that we're
brainwashed and has TDS. I just ignores that. Bet she lives in LA County and votes for Dave Joyce. Probably. But look, in a way, we're all brainwashed. We all believe something. There's people out there that smoke and think it's good for them. It is what it is.
I just believe we're doomed.
We do have video of the next president of the United States.
Oh, we do?
A couple of them, I believe, yeah.
All right, let's see.
I've been fortunate and blessed to, during the course of being vice president, have many situations where it becomes clear to me that there are, people of every age and gender, by the way, who see something about being the first that lets them know they don't need to be limited by other people's limited understanding of who can do what.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I've been fortunate.
That's the next president.
Well, dude, wasn't her conspiracy that she blew her way all the way up to the top of the ranks? That she sucked a lot of cock all the way to the vice presidency?
It's not really a conspiracy. The guy that she worked under was married, and she ended up.
So that's what she did. That's what she did, right? Can you imagine the babble and sexy talk she must have?
Oh my good God!
I think I'm gonna lick your, something, and then it's gonna be fucking doing something, and feeling something, and something's gonna feel something.
Do we have more?
Good Lord, I don't know.
We are counting on you to vote and to get everyone you know to vote, to send out text messages, to knock on doors, and to make your voices heard. So in conclusion,
how about that crowd?
She draws them.
20 people.
81 million.
There's 20 people watching her bang her former employer. More than
you mean 81 million people? 81 million.
81 million people voted for that duo. Nobody remembers. Everybody conveniently forgets that she called Joe Biden a racist and said he was horrible and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, she's his VP and the best person ever.
It's in the past. The last articulate president was Obama. He made lies sound believable. He sure did.
He did. I'll give Obama credit. He was a great speaker. He was great at those lies, man.
Yeah. Of course, what he was saying had the factual equivalence of Dr. Seuss. But yeah, he was great.
People get mad.
Be mad.
I mean, this whole country is kind of divided. This junk.
Kind of.
There's no way that 81 million people voted for that idiot. I'll tell you that. That's for damn sure.
Oh, see, conspiracy theorist.
That's all he had was he was articulate.
Probably true, Brian.
I just enjoy these messages. Wait, here's another one from Heidi. Obama got dealt an absolute shit hand with the Great Recession. Trump had it under softball. He had an underhand softball. Everything was okay with it. Everything ran good.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did what people like Heidi want. He forgave debt. He didn't hold anybody responsible. Just don't pay it, whatever.
Yeah, it's okay.
Car companies, fuck, just do whatever you want to do. Again, all of these presidents, they're all fucking criminals. Every one of them.
The way, because now Biden. If you wanted to go to college and you paid for it, or you didn't pay for it, hey, here's some money. Take care of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Forget all the people that have worked their asses off to pay for their college education. Forget all the people that worked 3 jobs to send their kids to school and didn't take those vacations, didn't buy new cars because they were trying to send their kids to get a good school.
Yeah.
Dude, we're just going to pay off the losers who didn't do anything with their education and have a degree that means nothing.
Well, and if they need votes in the future, believe me, they'll start doing auto loans and home loans at some point.
Until it didn't. When he had the first actual crisis to manage COVID, it was a shit show. A shit show released by Dr. Fauci, by the way. And then, look, I'll give Trump all the shit in the world for putting out a vaccine that didn't work. I'll give him all the credit in the world for saying this Operation Warp Speed. He was advised by the wrong fucking people because it was a bunch of garbage, and he should still apologize for what he did.
Yeah.
Now there's people dying from the vaccine.
Did he put Fauci in place?
I would assume.
How did Fauci get to be in place?
All right, I have to look that up. I'm not that educated.
I mean, that was during Trump's time, right?
Yeah.
So somewhere, some way, Fauci was appointed or elected or allowed.
He should have gotten rid of that little. He should have gotten rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, Trump was good at firing people. Goddamn, he fired more people than I think any president ever did. But
he absolutely should have fired that little fucker.
Somehow Fauci stayed around, which still leads to my theory that there's somebody bigger than any of them, including Trump, that runs shit.
What's going on here?
Mm-hmm. We got everybody fired up today. Jesus.
He was already in place before Trump.
Yeah.
Fauci was working under Obama. But still, Trump should have gotten rid of that guy and never should have pushed his Operation Warp Speed until he actually knew what the hell was going on with it. And let's be honest, a lot of people would have voted for Trump. That vaccine was ready before that election happened. And they didn't put it out there until the election was over. Which, again, just like the Hunter Biden laptop could have been was an absolute influence on the election.
No. Yeah, it's a mess. I can't cheerlead for any side. They're all fucking scum. I just can't.
I have to cheerlead for one side because if it keeps going the way that it's going, we're not going to recognize this country in 4 years.
Dude, I think I said this in the first week that I started doing the show with you. We are headed toward Mad Maxville.
It is. I didn't think it would be possible, but it is. It's absolutely possible. We're going to be headed towards Thunderdome.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying vote with the bullet, because voting, first of all, believing that the vote matters. If you can, I don't care what you believe, whether you believe that the election was stolen or not stolen or whatever, there can be no denying that there was corruption in the voting.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you believe that it was so rampant that 81 million, when really it should have been 3 million, voted for Biden, or whether you believe it was a couple of votes here and a voting machine there, or whatever you believe, there's no denying that there was corruption in the vote. Which, if you can somehow believe that now this time there's not going to be corruption in the vote, then you are fucking looking to buy the Brooklyn Bridge from me, and I'm willing to sell it to you. You know, I mean, you can't believe in the vote. That's not going to solve anything anymore. We need to look for harsher measures.
Well, I mean,
sorry, but we do.
They want to change the way voting is done. They want to change it here in Ohio the way voting is done. I hate to tell people, but we're not a democracy. We were a republic. That's the way this country was set up. But they want to change the way the voting is done here. They want to change everything.
Yeah.
Because the left, it feels like that's the way, the path to victory. You change it. If you change it to where people don't need IDs, what the fuck? You need an ID to go to the grocery store and get alcohol. You need an ID to buy cigarettes. You need an ID if you're driving a car. You need an ID for all kinds of different things.
Yeah, but voting's not that important.
But apparently voting's not that important.
No.
To know who people are when they're going in, to be able to count the votes properly, to be able to do things legitimately, you don't need an ID. To have our country decided, you don't need an ID. Okay.
No. She's just looking to fucking push her buttons, and you are just keep right on pushing.
I mean, she's not, at this point, she's not even pushing my buttons because I know that she's just not bright. I mean, that's the thing that, you know, I hope that she's hot. I hope she has one thing going for her.
She has a business.
Yeah, with her dad. Sounds like a great one.
That.
I mean, I hope her dad is at least somewhat intelligent. I'm assuming that he got older and got wiser.
Well, you would hope.
Voting has always been BS, maybe. But now it's actually brought to light. You know, that's one of the things that, again, I'm sounding like a cheerleader for Trump, but I'm a cheerleader for his cause. Not him personally. I'm a cheerleader for the cause. One thing that he brought to light is this deep state that there actually is. A bunch of people that have been entrenched in politics for years, decades and decades, and are all buddy-buddy. I mean, look, you know that back in the day, during the Bush times and all that, these Democrats and Republicans were going out to dinner with each other afterwards. They liked each other. They were going out to dinner and having a good time because they knew that they were getting over on the American public. They continue to do it, but now there's some that are saying we're not going to put up with that kind of garbage. Trump brought it to light. Everybody knew there was a deep state, but now it's really out there. Mm-hmm. And they'll do anything in the world to stop him from being president. The country didn't end because Donald Trump was president for 4 years. And it won't end if he's president for another 4 years himself. But they're doing everything that they can to stop it from happening. Why? Because they know that their gravy train is in jeopardy with him in the office.
Well, and they know that there's no more power to gain if it's all exposed. That's why even guys that are not like political people are so against guys like Trump, like Soros or Schwab. That's why those guys are all against it, because they're being exposed as buying power.
Which they do.
They do.
District attorneys, whatever they buy. There's a guy that's running for the prosecutor here in Cuyahoga County. All right, he is a Soros guy. You should see his platform. He talks about getting rid of police altogether.
Yeah.
No bail. Whatever, like just letting people out on the street. Dude, he's a crazy person. He's a Soros-backed prosecutor. He's here running for office in Cuyahoga County. We had Michael Kelly on the other day, who's a Democrat, by the way, because he is the better option of the two.
Yeah, and that's pretty scary right there. But
wait, here, look at this. My dad likes Trump because he wants to pay less in taxes, but admits he's a horrible person. I admitted he's a horrible person, Heidi. I said he's a dick. He's a shitty tweeter. He's a horrible person, but he ran the country right. Yes, Your dad likes paying less in taxes. Good for your dad. You don't like paying less in taxes, Heidi? If you like paying more, send me a check. I don't get paid for this show, Heidi. So if you like paying more for stuff, just send me money.
Advertise. Hell, let's see that, Heidi. Advertise your landscaping business right here.
Yes. Look,
I'll happily say Trump's a dick every show that you advertise. How's that?
Every show. Advertise. Send your extra money that you have because the economy is a juggernaut, like you said, and I'd be happy to say Trump is an asshole. Just send
Every
your
time.
extra cash to us.
That's right.
God.
I do love this. It's fun.
President Trump isn't one of them. That's what I'm saying, Sandy. You're right. Deep state will unfortunately never be beat. No, probably not. Our business has boomed past 5 years. Yes, when Trump was in office.
Yeah.
Saying. And again, if you have that extra money, Heidi, send it here. If you have all the extra money, your grocery bill is fine, your gas bill is fine, everything else, send it this way.
Well, yeah.
You take Joe out for a dinner and a shopping spree.
There you go.
When a person hold presidential office for more than 2 terms, if they're not consecutive.
No. They can only serve 8 years as president.
Or 16 if you're Obama, just do it behind the scenes.
Well, Trump's got that option too. He could get DT Jr. in there.
I don't even want him in there. I don't even necessarily like that guy.
You don't like the Triggered podcast?
Look, I'm rooting and voting for policy, not the person. The policy is what I'm voting for. And I can't vote for a policy like Joe Biden has that is destroying the country that I once knew.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not arguing that point. We are done. We are fast tracking to Venezuela. I feel bad for my kids and your kids. I ain't worried about me. I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about my kids and your kids because we're going to shuffle off the planet before it turns into Venezuela, but our kids probably won't. You know, our kids are going to have to deal with this shit. They're the ones that are going to get sucked into North Korea style living. Not us.
Well, if you look at that, Heidi, under President Trump, I would rather have Don Jr. instead of Hunter, of course. Although, there's some stuff I like about Hunter. I'm not going to put down Hunter too much. He had sex with some really hot hookers, dude. And, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
As long as they're not sex trafficked, I'm good with Hunter in some of his decisions.
Well,
I thought some of those pictures, those still pictures I saw of Hunter was a couple of those girls on top of him. If I could high five that guy, I would.
It is funny how Trump was
funneling money from other countries is probably not one of the things I'm going to high five him for.
It is funny how Trump was absolutely destroyed for wanting to grab the pussy, but everybody says, that's these pictures of Hunter Biden. That's not real. It's photoshopped. Yeah. It's fake.
Oh, yeah. Him on video weighing out crack cocaine on a scale
fake.
With guns around.
Fake.
Forget about it. Fake.
Yeah. Fake news.
Donald Trump said something, and all of a sudden, oh my God, he said grab him by the pussy. What guy hasn't said that somewhere, sometime in her life?
Exactly.
Sorry, hate to say it, guys are scummy.
Every heterosexual guy wants to stick his fucking fingers in a stink hole. Let's just call it the way it is.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to go there, but yeah. Okay.
That's what it is.
What an attribute that is. He's a scumbag. Yes, he is. Yes.
And that's me.
He's a good painter, too. Yes. He's a very good painter. He sells his paintings for more than Picasso. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Who's that, Hunter Biden?
Yes.
And ironically, he only uses white paint. But
Nothing to do with who's president, just word of mouth and networking like any business.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're not doing a good enough word of mouth with ours.
It's a different industry. Service industry. First of all, we as a country, if the pandemic did anything to us, it definitely made us lazy to where we want everything delivered to us. Look at, dude, you do DoorDash on the side. Look at how many fucking scumbags can clearly not afford to be using DoorDash, but do.
Oh, man. There's a neighborhood here in the area where I live. That, not like Macintosh Farm area where I'm saying like in the city that I live in.
Yeah.
There's an area that is definitely not DoorDash
Sure.
worthy. But they DoorDash probably more than anybody else.
Of course. Dude, that's what I'm saying. The service industry, of course, has gone up. Americans have gotten A, lazy, and B, way more irresponsible since the pandemic. And why? Because we got handed a fucking assload of free money. Here's a check. You don't have to do anything about it. Here, just take it. Waste it on whatever you want to waste it on. That convinced everybody. Look at how much, dude, how many people do you know that are fucking living check to check, day to day, but got a 65-inch 4K television?
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I used to drive home through the hood, basically, to when I was working down in the flats, and I'd drive home. It was the quickest route to get home.
Mm-hmm.
And I would drive through some areas that were literally considered projects. I mean, they were the
Sure.
project. And you would see cars out there that are worth more than my entire life. They had rims on Mercedes Benzes in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
You could see through the walls of some of their homes because there were literally holes in the walls. But they had cars with Mercedes and TVs that were bigger than the ones I had.
Absolutely.
I volunteered for a church. All right. And I volunteered for a church on the east side. And one of the things we did every Christmas time was take gifts to needy families.
Mm-hmm.
And underperforming or whatever neighborhoods, whatever you want to call them. And so I went over there and I had this whole bunch of toys. I have all kind of stuff for these kids that were needy.
Yeah,
and
sure.
they lived in a bad neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I get to the door, I knock on the door, I'm going in with literally a sack full of toys.
Yeah.
And I get inside this needy person's house. They had a big screen TV, video game systems, a couple of them that I didn't have. And they had a leather couch, and it looked like the best. Like, I wish that I lived there. If it wasn't for the fact that you could get shot on your way in through the front door, I would like to live where they were living. And
right.
I sit there going, why am I dropping off toys to this house? Because it is what it is.
And they didn't want those toys either. They were like, oh, you don't have a Nintendo Switch in there?
Well, that's just it. I mean, I was giving them like squirt guns and Nerf footballs and stuff, and they have an Xbox sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah, the Xbox and every new game under the sun on it.
And I'm sitting there, I was with my other wife, and I said to her on the way out the door, I said, what the hell are we doing? I was like,
yeah,
I want an Xbox. I don't have an Xbox.
You got to get on the system, man.
Right now, I am working 3 jobs plus this one, twice a week. So,
well, that's your mistake.
I should literally just go to the border, walk over, and get some free shit.
You could get that at home. If you would just whine about your leg and tell some doctor that you're afraid to go out because of your leg, you could get fucking full benefits for everything if you wanted it. You could.
I think that I'm going to Taco Bell. I'm going to get myself a poncho, and I'm going to New York City and get a $1,000 gift card.
Why not? And a $500 a night room.
Those guys are staying in hotels that I can't afford to stay in.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's out of control, dude. Everything's out of control. The whole world is upside down. Remember?
Who turned it this way? That's my question. Who turned it this way?
I'll go back to say Ronald Reagan.
Okay, it was not Ronald Reagan's fault that everything is the way that it is.
Sure
currently.
it is.
No.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is, because he tanked the economy, which has never recovered. And everything is a part of the tidal wave that started from that fucking first ripple that Ronald Reagan did. Everything. Everything.
So there were no presidents that got us into trouble before Carter was a fool. A lot of them were fools. A lot of them got
Carter
us
was a fool that balanced the budget. People look past that like it's nothing because we haven't had a balanced budget in forever. Man, balancing that budget used to keep the politicians straight. Now, with no need to balance the budget, they could just get up at the State of the Union and fucking lie with the same dumb line that they give every single time at the State of the Union. The nation is good. The nation is strong. Shut the fuck up. The nation is $8 goddamn gazillion in debt with no end in sight. That clock runs so fast on that debt meter that you can't even see the numbers. We're screwed. Good point, Cassidy. Good point. Clinton was the last one to have a 1-year balanced budget. It was him and what's his name, Newt Gingrich. Him and Newt put it together one time. But prior to that, Reagan was the guy that just said, we don't have to balance it. We don't need to balance it anymore, which led to, like I said before, selling debt and everything else.
Well, I'll say I was young and dumb, and I was a Democrat at one point in my life, and I thought under Clinton things weren't that bad. I was paying 99 cents a gallon for gas. Cigarettes cost me $2 when I went to the gas station. I was doing all right. It wasn't really that bad under Clinton. But why is he not a scumbag? Why are people like Heidi sitting there criticizing Bill Clinton, who's getting his rocks off in the Oval Office with an intern?
Because it's accepted.
Why isn't Bill Clinton getting yelled at for painting her dress white, dude? And what we're going to
How about for going to Epstein Island 75 times? How about that? Why are we not even talking about Bill Clinton was like the fucking frequent flyer on the Epstein flight? We're not even talking about that.
Missing the leg is much more of a disability than what I see a lot of people collecting disability for. Absolutely. I've seen people that are collecting disability, and they because they say they have panic attacks, or they say that they're depressed.
Yeah.
Like, how are you getting disability? You realize I filled out 19 billion forms for disability, and I've yet to hear anything back. I wrote nothing back. I'm owed back disability for like a year and a half of not being able to work.
Dude, I could so easily go and fill out the form and say that I'm afraid of being fat shamed and get on disability. Go to a shrink once a month or something. Say, I can't lose weight.
They owe me a lot of back money.
Yeah.
How many, like thousands of dollars I'd be owed for a year and a half of not being able to work. And I'm having trouble getting what I'm owed. What I put my money in for.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is trying to get it for having bad shoulder and knee from being in the military. He was a photographer. He was a radio show on the base. There's nothing wrong with him. Well, God bless your brother-in-law, though.
He's not homeless.
Clinton signed NAFTA. That's the worst thing that ever happened in this country. I'm not saying that he did everything right. What I'm saying is my life was pretty okay.
Were you living here or there?
What?
When he signed NAFTA, were you here or were you in Florida?
I was here.
All right, because as soon as he signed NAFTA, that was the end of Cleveland. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. But again, it didn't. Look, when you're young, Heidi, you don't realize how things affect everybody else. You kind of are in your own little bubble, and sitting there going, everything's okay for me, so everything's fine. I like who's in charge. When you actually start to open your eyes and see what's going on in the entire country, you start to realize what's actually going on. And that's why this fool is an idiot. If you close your eyes, stick your head in the sand, and forget about the fact that Biden is a mumbling, bumbling fool who is running his country into the ground, and there's illegals everywhere, not to mention the other shit that he's done.
Let me ask you this, though, Seth, and I'm asking you honestly. Do you think that it is bad decisions, or do you think that it's purposeful maneuvering? Because I think it's all on purpose. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's smart and smart enough to take orders from those that are smarter than him.
No. I think it's purposeful without a doubt. There's an agenda here that's being pushed, whether it's the trans thing, whether it's the illegals, it's creating a voting bloc for the Democrat Party. It's creating a voting bloc for liberal and the liberal agenda forever. Because once you get on the side of the LGBTQ plus AI, ABCDEFG community, and then you have on top of that an illegal voting bloc that's coming in that you're going to let vote with no IDs and everything else, and are going to give money, you're creating a voting bloc that will last forever for the Liberal Party. You'll never see a conservative win again. If once you start buying votes, like by paying off college debt and stuff like that, they are literally creating a voting bloc that will never be defeated.
I don't know. That sounds a little too still in the box. I tend to look more Alex Jones these days, and I look at things like the way they've gone after organized religion and the way that that they're trying to make family not matter anymore and don't respect your elders and don't accept that you were born with a dick, so you're a boy. The way that they're trying to break down every subsystem, to me, is like they've seen what works and doesn't work to take ultimate power, and they're breaking down the pieces that have let people fight off giving into ultimate power, which has always been the power of prayer, the power of family, the power of those things. Once they get those things significantly broke down enough, there's no fighting back, because there's no camaraderie on any level, on beliefs, on humanity, on society. There's no belief systems left to merge together as one, and they're close to doing it.
I just don't know what the ultimate end goal. I agree with everything that you're saying, but the end goal for me and for what the way I look at it is they're creating this voting that will they'll be able to push their agenda forever. That reliance on the government, it's a socialist, it's a Marxist way of living that they're trying to push, and they're going to get it. They're going to get it. Mm-hmm. They're going to have everybody relying on the government.
And the thing is once they get it, though,
COVID was step one in showing that they can control the populace. I mean, they shut down the country, and people went along with it. They told people to wear a mask, even though they knew that it didn't do anything. Fauci came out and said, we know that the mask didn't do anything, the 6-foot distance didn't do anything. Yet you had idiots wearing a mask, literally with stickers on the ground in stores telling you where to stand 6 feet apart. 5.5 feet, you're fucked. 6 feet, you're okay. They knew it was all a lie. They knew it was all bullshit. All it was control, and they proved that they could control this country.
But take it one step further, though.
Chris, they put.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
They put tampon stations in men's restrooms.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Cannot menstruate. I mean, it's a scientific fact. I think we're pretty smart to figure out that we can't menstruate. But they put
not disagreeing. What I'm saying is, let's go back to COVID for a minute, and let's take it to the further thing. What was one sticking point that people just would not cave to the government on? Was the way old people were treated, the way grandmothers and grandfathers were treated. When that came out that they were letting those people die, and people were having to let their grandmother die and whatever, people stopped being so willing to go along with the system. So now 3 years out of it, what are we doing? We're further breaking up the family. We're further breaking up the need for the family unit. We're decimating the parts that could give them any kind of turbulence to mow you over. That's what they're doing. They're breaking up any sense of unity that people in the West would have, or anywhere really. They're breaking up unity so that there won't be any kind of a resistance, and they could take global dominant power. And that is what they're doing. That's what the WEF is doing. That's what they're trying to do with these. When they can't look at guns, they keep saying they have not found a way to take guns here in the United States. They've tried everything under the sun, with all these crazy laws and everything else to try and make it almost impossible to buy guns. And people don't care. They keep buying them anyway. So now have you noticed now it's secretly turning into a global thing? It's the United Nations is saying that the United States has to give up their guns because they know that the American side will not give them up. It's a bigger thing in my mind. It's a bigger thing. And the bigger thing is to take out resistance in any way they can. Digital currency, I keep seeing popping up in the chat room. Same exact thing. If you don't have money, if you don't have cars, if you don't have things, then you have nothing to fall back on.
And I'll agree with Gunnar here. Goes back to what we started the whole conversation with. Trump scared the deep state. They're all in it to crush him because somebody like that doesn't want that kind of stuff to happen.
True. That's true. And we're doomed.
Look, there are places like Cedar Point and I think like downtown where you can't use cash anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that.
Not taking a shot was against the system as well. Bragg was trying to put felony charges on people with fake vax cards. Yeah, look, that's true. There were restaurants you couldn't go in unless you proved that you had a vaccine. Have you ever heard of such a thing? And there are people out there that say that that's okay. There are people out there saying, "Oh my God, if you don't, you're a shithole if you don't have your vaccine." Yeah. There are people, family members, fighting over it.
Dude, I
was in the hospital and they told me don't take it.
I had many friends that sent me blank vax cards. Like, here, just fill this out and put it on your phone, and nobody ever. And I was like, fuck that. If they're not going to let, my attitude was. If they're not going to let me in because I haven't taken their fucking shot, then I'm not going to give them my money. It's that simple. And I didn't care. I did not care that I couldn't go to most of the restaurants in my town. I just fucking stayed home and ate fucking DoorDash, to be honest. You know, I was like, I'm not going to support this, but I'm not going to try to lie my way into it either. I was like, fuck you. I'm just not doing it.
So the destruction of the family, the destruction of everything that you talked about, what do you think is the goal here, the end goal? A globalist society of what? What are they? Is it to make the rich richer? Or what do you think the goal is?
The goal is to have a world that is run like 20,000 years ago's Egyptians. There's a king, there's a ruling class, and then there's servants. And that's what they want. They want everybody else to be serving the highest of the high. That's what they want.
I agree with Marty on this one. They want to divide Americans so they won't stand together against them. Right?
Yes.
It's totally true. I totally agree with that. But beyond that, what is the plan? Are we all going to be in chains? Are we all be waiting in food trucks again? What is the ultimate?
You won't all be waiting in chains
goal?
Because the next step of this thing is that they'll go and start whacking people that are dissenters. That'll be the next phase. The next phase will be people like me that are just like, fuck you, you'll have to kill me first. They'll come and kill me. That's what they'll do.
It's pretty radical thought.
But it's the truth. It's what's going to happen.
My theory is more subtle. I think that they just want to create a voting bloc so that they continue to have their power and they continue to make their money and continue to do their thing. I don't know if they would necessarily start whacking people.
Why?
Maybe.
Why do you think they would let dissenters continue to dissent? Dissenters can gain ground.
Because eventually what they'll do is they'll just toss you in prison. They'll do a J6 to you, and they will say if you're dissenting...
They'll let you be martyred? No, they won't. They've never done that in history.
They'll let you go to jail.
Dude, I can't
imagine America would stand for people to just start getting whacked on the side of the road.
I think if they had no choice, if they had no family to turn to talk about it, if they had no religious places to go to pray about it, if they had everything destroyed and they're basically off to fend for themselves, you betcha they will. Americans today, by and large, are cowards. Cowards.
I agree.
None of them.
We all shut everything down. That's why we sat in our houses. That's why we stood 6 feet apart.
So to say that people would do something over this, no, they won't. They won't do shit. They'll shut up and take it. They will be the ones they'll be just like the North Koreans that are afraid to speak out when Kim Jong-un grabs their daughter and fucks the 5 right out of her age. You know, I mean, that's what they'll do. They'll shut up because they don't want to be the next one on the firing line. That's the direction that it's going. The elite will lead, and we will be their fucking mules. That's what they want. I know I'm getting real conspiratorial here, but I honestly think this.
But I think there's too many people on the opposite side to have that happen. I mean,
now,
you can say what you
still
want about
too many
81 million
supports in
people
place.
You can say what you want about 81 million people voting for Joe Biden, but there were still 80 million people that voted for Donald Trump. And so,
Well, dude,
you have a side, and you have people that are supposedly in office that are different. You have people that are going to stand up against that. Where does that lead? Does that lead to another civil war in this country? You already have Biden trying to create a civil war when he's standing up against the state of Texas for trying to protect their own borders, for not protecting our border. He's creating that atmosphere. So is that where we're headed?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Honestly, I don't even think in the global agenda, I don't even think that America's the biggest concern or the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the Muslims. Because there's so many of them, and they are ridiculously devout. You're going to have an awful hard... Look at... Christians are lazy fucking people. They really are. I used to call the people that would go to church on Sunday, Sunday morning Christians, because they were out womanizing and cheating and boozing it up and doing everything. Half of the deacons in the churches I've ever gone to would show up Sunday morning smelling still of booze because they'd been out partying the night before. We're not devout on any level. Muslims, and there's billions of them, Muslims are super devout to the level of wearing the same clothes and putting the burqas on and not showing your wrist because that's too risky and all that other shit. They're way more of a problem for the agenda people. The only thing they don't have is money. If somehow
I don't disagree with you.
If somehow the Muslims were able to make it in the West, which honestly I think is part of the reason that and I know now I'm getting all conspiratorial, but I think that's part of the reason that 9/11 kind of happened, was to try and get a foothold in the West so that they could have their belief system as well as the money.
If you see what's going on at the border, you know that Biden is enabling that to happen.
Of course. Biden...
People demonize each other so they'll turn on each other. They won't care if Chris gets killed because they don't agree with the agenda.
That's correct. 100% true.
No, you're completely wrong. They will take the ones out that get them there first. Chris is right. Faith is dangerous. That's why they took religion out of schools and young people.
There you go. I wish I wasn't right.
They're taking families out of it too. They're taking out the religion, taking families out of it. They're taking whatever.
Well, dude, you can't even tell. You can't, as a parent, tell a school, I don't want you teaching my son to fuck another boy. You can't tell him that. You can't tell him don't put him in health class and teach him how to fucking put a condom on so he can stick his dick in another man's ass. You can't do that. I have so many friends that have school-age kids that are losing their shit when they find out what their kids are being taught in school. And there's no stopping it. There's one way to stop it, homeschool, which means that somebody has to give up a job 99% of the time in order to do it.
Yeah, but you can't do homeschool. There's something to be said for kids learning to interact with each other and talk to each other and social skills.
Okay.
I mean, you barely have that as it is with social media, so you can't just eliminate.
So then you have to make a choice. Your choice is leave your kids in an indoctrinating situation so that they can also fraternize and learn how to deal with other people, or isolate them, but you also isolate them from the terrible message that they get beat on for 12 years. Which is better? I say neither. They're both terrible.
You know what I think is better?
What?
I think we need a president.
I've been fortunate and blessed to, during the course of being vice president, have many situations where it becomes clear to me that there are people of every age and gender, by the way, who see something about being the first that lets them know they don't need to be limited by other people's limited understanding of who can do what.
English, mother.
I agree with her.
I agree. Where's the Billions
video-
clip from
video
Biden,
that you-
too?
This other video that you sent me is kind of tough to hear, but
Let's hear it.
It's good conversation.
Most importantly, if you have an extra room or suite in your home, please consider hosting a family. Safe housing and shelter is our most pressing need. Become a sponsor family. You can contact the Brazilian Worker Center for more information on how you can step up if you're willing to have an additional family be part of your family.
Yeah, sure.
Would you look, I love the left, Joe Biden has, oh, by the way, there's a fence around the White House. You know why? So intruders don't get in. So, like, people don't just walk in because they're not invited. He also has a fence and a gate around his home in Delaware. I think his beach house. There's fences around all. Nancy Pelosi, fence around. They all have fences. I know people that are extremely left who live in gated communities where there's little cameras. They are watching you when you get in. You have to actually have a pass to get into the gated community. Well, if you are okay with all this illegal immigration, then open your doors, let them in, let them stay with you.
Well, maybe there's not empty rooms in those homes.
Make them.
Nancy Pelosi has no extra rooms in her mansion.
Sure, she doesn't. No, I've seen pictures of that house. I'm sure there's a couple empty rooms there.
Yeah.
Why do we have? I guarantee you, Heidi locks the door of her house before she goes to bed.
I guarantee you, she locks the shed so somebody doesn't steal the fucking lawnmower.
Right. And these days, you really need to lock that shed.
Yeah.
People trying to steal that mower now.
That's right.
But yeah, if you don't believe in walls on the border and you don't believe in all this, then why not just open your home? Let people in.
Yeah, just come on in. Stay. What kind of shit is this that they're the ones that said, everything's a sanctuary city. Bring it to our town. Bring it to. Remember that one congressman or whatever, mayor or whatever, that was dancing? He was dancing when I think he's in Chicago. He was dancing when Chicago was made a sanctuary city. And now they're saying, well, now you got to open up your house and you got to let them stay with you because of our policy. Fuck off.
Now there's kids that can't go to school because the illegals are staying in their schools.
But New York can give up
I want $1,000 gift card. Give me $1,000. I want $1,000 gift card to go shopping for stuff.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
I'll give it to the Eagles.
That's right.
Should we take a break? We haven't done that.
Yeah, let's take a little break here.
Did you watch the Grammys at all last night?
No.
I'll take that as a no.
No, I did not. Of course not.
All right, we'll be back.
Hey everybody, it's Don Dockin. When I'm feeling nostalgic, I always go to Pinball PA. You gotta go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
When you want to have fun in Pennsylvania, there's only one place to go, Pinball PA. Located near the Pittsburgh airport, we have over 420 classic pinball machines and arcade games that you can play. Admission starts at only $24.99. Want to have a party? Well, there's no better place than Pinball PA. Visit our website today at www.pinballpa.com to get more information or to book your next small or large party. Pinball PA. It's where the action is.
Advertise your business or service today on The Seth Williams Show. We offer video commercial advertising live and in rebroadcast of our show daily. Commercials are permanently placed within the video on demand segments of our show, which are available on the CMS Network, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and CMS TV. Web graphic advertising is also available on the SethWilliamsShow.com. Get your business, service, or band the recognition it deserves by advertising on a great show like The Seth Williams Show. Email us at sales@thesethwilliamsshow.com today. Let us work with you to improve awareness about you.
Are you looking for a way to support The Seth Williams Show? Get your Seth Williams Show merchandise today. From coffee mugs to clothing and everything in between, our high-quality merch is the perfect way for you to not only support the show, but show everyone what is the greatest show going today. Just go to shop.thesethwilliamsshow.com now, shop around, and buy some great merchandise from The Seth Williams Show. Shop today.
Right back here. The Seth Williams Show, Chris Aiken.
Yes, sir.
When are you going to change the name of the show?
To what?
Seth and Chris Show.
It's the Seth Williams Show. I've got a Chris Show. Do I need another Chris Show?
No, probably not.
I was going to say, I've got one. I got one of those.
Scared your echo chamber has a leak, huh? No. For sure, I'm not. Nice try, go away. I like Heidi. She provides a little bit of a entertainment value that
I love it.
you don't normally get.
I absolutely love it.
I wish she wasn't so angry though.
Ah,
But I do need my yard mode. Heidi, if you want to send me a business card or something, you should plug the name of your business so we can,
yeah, we'll plug it. She probably doesn't want it said on this show.
Why? Everybody's allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, but she's left leaning. You're only allowed to have an opinion that's
Look, I respect all opinions. I don't have to like her opinion, but I respect it, and I respect the fact that she has a business. And if I actually needed my grass mowed, I would take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of her having a business with her dad. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I'd like to meet her and her dad.
Well, there you go. Maybe at one of our events. Maybe at the whatever that show is. The
Soil and
not digital Union Underground.
Yes.
That'd be something if we had the digital underground, wouldn't it?
Do Humpty dance?
Well, I think Humpty died.
Yeah.
So it really wouldn't be that good, I would imagine.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be March 19th, I believe.
I believe you are correct, sir. Something like that.
That's going to be a busy week, man. March 19th, we got the Soil Union Underground show that we're going to be at, the Winchester in Lakewood. That's going to be fun. And then on the 23rd of March is the Coach for Kids.
That's right.
Benefit at the Hilton Garden Inn in Twinsburg. It's so weird to say that, but it's going to be hosted by the Odd Fellows. And there's going to be dueling pianos and all kind of stuff. And we will get, again, the guy on from that. And,
do you know who the dueling pianos are?
It's a popular dueling piano thing. If you look up dueling pianos like Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, I think it's they travel the entire state.
Dueling pianos.
I put the if you pull up my Facebook page, I put the flyer up.
Oh, let me see here.
I shared the flyer yesterday.
Facebook. Seth. I'm just curious because I have a friend that does a dueling piano thing. Dueling piano band. Cleveland Keys. I don't know if that's his band or not.
That's who's going to be there, Cleveland Keys?
That's what it says, yeah. Open image. I'll put it on the screen here. We'll give the flyer a little look. Let's see. What is that? Here we go. There we go. There it is.
Oddfellows. Roaring 20s charity dinner, benefiting Coach for Kids. Hilton Garden Inn in Twinsburg.
Nice.
So yeah, but the flyer is up on my my page on Facebook. The Seth Williams Show, and there's a QR code on that thing, I believe.
Nope. Not on this.
Not on my page.
Oh, maybe on your page, but let's see. I don't see a QR code anywhere.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't see a QR anywhere.
But there's some way there is information on that flyer, as you can see, how to inquire about getting tickets and stuff.
Yeah. You can go to coachforkidscleveland.org for full details, including how to become a sponsor.
And for more information, contact, there's a thing on there, Scott.
Yeah, Scott at Teresa's Pizza. Boy, they make good pizza, too.
Do they?
If it's the one in Twinsburg, hell yes. That is like that's my number one spot, man.
Never had Teresa's Pizza.
Dude, their pizza, the cheese is so thick on their pizza. And it's good cheese. It's not that cheap horse shit that like Pizza Hut or Domino's uses.
Yeah.
It's like really good fresh cheese. Oh, it's so good. Teresa's Pizza. Shameless free promotion for them, but they definitely have the best pizza in Twinsburg. So good working, Scott.
Scott at TeresaPizza.com.
That's right.
Email over there and try to get, figure out how to get some tickets to the show.
That's right.
And then Rubber Ducks. Yes, Natalie wants to know when we're doing a different time for Rubber Ducks. We're going to figure that out.
We just have to.
And do that as well.
I need to contact them and come up with a date and a time to do it. And I don't want to just show up and do it.
No, probably easier to do when they're.
Yeah, when they're in business. Yeah, but I want to kind of do it where we have like a row or two rows of tickets that are held for us for this event, and we're like right down near the field, so we can have players come over right from the dugout and do a couple little interview hits and shit like that.
That would be fun. Yeah.
And unlike the old days of Tony, we'll get some microphones instead of passing off the earpiece.
I'm not sharing an earpiece with anybody.
So I'm gonna say no thanks.
I don't. Is that weird? Like, I don't want to put something that has been in somebody else's ear inside my ear. Like, you're too close to my brain. Like,
Well, not only that, the fucking earwax is really just another form of snot.
Yeah,
it's like putting somebody else's snot in your ear.
Yeah, don't really want to do that.
It's like licking somebody else's fucking Kleenex or something.
I'm still thinking we should have my dad on this Wednesday.
Dude, I'm in. I thought he was coming on today.
But we cannot talk politics. That's the problem. We cannot.
So what?
The conversation we had today is going to be a big no for a Wednesday show. I'm going to ask him to come on Wednesday. See if he'll come on, but we will not be talking about anything political.
That's fine. Dude, I don't ever want to talk about politics. I am not a political guy.
Greg Mack.
Will talk about it, but...
Greg Mack from The Fish.
Mm-hmm.
95.5.
That's the bike guy.
He is going to join us again next Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
He will talk a little politics, and then he's got a bike thing going on he wants to talk about.
Okay.
Charity events. So Greg Mack from The Fish. He does afternoons on 95.5 The Fish. He will be joining us next Wednesday.
Very cool.
So that's the plan for the next couple of weeks. We'll try to get something going for Monday. I don't want to talk Trump again Monday in politics. That was just everybody's all mad. I got all mad. Heidi's all mad.
I'm pretty happy.
I want to know how old Heidi is. Heidi, how old are you?
22.
Well, then that'd be perfect. But if she says like, yeah, I'm 17, I'm like, okay, forget everything I was going to say.
Get Holly on.
I thought about that. I thought about reaching out to Holly Strano because she's going to be starting work again.
She is not coming on this show
here shortly. But isn't that part of like your recovery? Is that you have to like make amends and stuff? And coming on this show, you could make amends and talk about apologize to everybody. And
she is in the media. The last thing she's going to do is a wild card show.
We're not wild cards.
Oh, yeah, we are. She certainly can't depend on us to come. She cannot depend on us to do you made a mistake, but it's great to see that you're recovering from it and you're making great strides. That's the interview she's going to be willing to do. She's not going to be willing to do why were you so fucked up?
Is this really the first time you ever did this?
Yeah. Is this the first time you ever drove when you had a drink? Yeah, she's not willing to do that interview. She's willing to do the you know what? I have a charity now that's around drinking and driving because I want to be a better me and blah. That's what she's looking to do.
Here's the thing: is I think that would be a good show too. I think that would be a good look. We may not like it because we would want to ask all the ridiculous questions, but at the same time, I think that would be something good and beneficial. I think that as stupid as her decision was, if anybody can benefit from it, because she is somebody with, some clout in this town, and I think it might be cool to have her on to say something like that. And if we could stop somebody else from doing it, I think that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Do you really think the WKYC is not going to control every aspect of her media run?
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, I'll guarantee you that the Plain Dealer has already submitted their questions for careful answers crafted by Holly / her lawyer. Maybe not in that order. I promise you that's what's going on.
I'm not saying that she would actually do it. I was just saying the thought had crossed my mind to see, at least put out the request.
Well, you put it out there, but I just can't see that happening, dude.
Half of my job, or 2 other jobs, is putting out requests to try to get people to join it. And sometimes from being in this field that sometimes you get a yes, sometimes you don't. I mean, I throw out some Hail Marys, man, and sometimes they come through and then sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the other day, Bob says, see if you can get a guy from Shawshank Redemption on. Dude, it's not that easy. Dude, I'm going to throw out every Hail Mary I could possibly throw out, but it ain't going to be that.
Which one do you want? Do you want Morgan Freeman or you want the other guy?
He wants one of the guards. And so if anybody knows the guard.
The guard?
Byron Hadley. Sergeant Hadley from the movie.
Oh, yeah. Is he even still alive?
Oh, yeah, but he does a lot of stuff. I mean, he's got his hands on a lot of different things. But, man, I'm trying to find managers.
Step aside. He's going off the roof.
Trying to find managers and publicists for people like that, it's almost impossible.
They got to have a book or something going on.
I mean, these late night shows like Jimmy Fallon and Kimmel and all those guys, they have a Rolodex the size of my office.
Yeah,
because they're in that area, and those people go reach out to them to go on those kind of shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to just hunt them down.
No, and they also have contracted deals with management companies.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Is like Creative Artists, CAA. CAA undoubtedly pays Kimmel and Fallon and all those guys X amount of money per year to feature X number of their clients on their shows. It's definitely at that level. It's definitely not, hey, we'd love to talk to Julia Roberts. It's more, hey, we're paying $10,000 a month. We need to promote Julia's movie. Get her on the show.
Right.
Okay, how about Wednesday? That's how that works.
I'm throwing out Hail Marys on Instagram to people.
Oh, yeah. Dude, but the worst, and you can attest to this. Let me take this off the screen. The worst is when they don't show.
Oh, yeah.
When you do the prep and you're all ready to do it, you've got everything organized, and they don't show up.
Man, and that goes for any guest. Yeah,
any guest. Yeah,
I get guests for the radio show all the time, and I sit there 2 minutes before that interview is supposed to happen. I'm just staring at the phone lines, please God, light up, please light up. I tried really hard to get you. Please just light up.
Yeah, it sucks.
And when it doesn't, you're like.
And the more interviews that you end up doing, the more you realize how many people really don't give a shit about doing their interviews.
I had a big guest, a really nationally known guest scheduled for today, and happens to live in L.A. and they're getting pummeled with a rainstorm.
Yeah.
Lost power, and so had to cancel for the show. I was like, man.
Yeah, at least you had
it's a rainstorm, man. Let's go. I mean, Californians suck. It's rainy and windy, and they're bitching. But I get it.
Well, I'm glad you do, because I got blown off the other day by a biggie and was like, son of a bitch. The one that I told you I was going to book you, help you get booked
Oh,
onto.
yeah.
No call, no show.
Really? Yeah.
No, nothing. I hit the publicist. Publicist like, oh, I'm sorry. We'll try and make it happen. And then they offered me somebody else from the band that's like 3 degrees less.
Right.
Like, gee, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a tough business, man.
It is. Dude, the music, I don't know what it is in the political realm where you're dealing and in that realm. Music realm, I would say 20% blow-offs.
Yeah, well,
that's about 1 of 5 does not happen. Pretty much.
For most part, these political guys, they're itching to talk, and so they want to come on.
Yeah.
But the problem with some of these things is that when it comes right down to it, it has to be worth their while to want to do an interview. I mean, it has to be worth it to say, yeah, I'm going to go on there and try to sell a couple of tickets or a book or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just say, well, it's not worth my time.
Yeah. You know what though? I'm better when they say that than when they say, yeah, we'll do it, and then don't.
No. Yeah.
Then don't. I was like, with the one that blew me off the other day, I was like ready, and he had just done something national. He had just performed nationally on the big stage at an NFL game. Yeah. So like it was like, all right, this is going to be a great get. Nope. Just nope. It's like, fuck.
Heidi's going to be 30 in April.
All right, good for her. She's 20 years away from really understanding politics.
That's a good age, though. 30 is a good age. I wish I was thinking again.
30 is when you start to get it.
Yeah, 30 is when I kind of started opening my eyes.
Yeah, 30 is when you're not childlike in your thoughts. Everything should be a commune.
Yeah, but see, the problem is I'm still childlike in my thoughts. Like I literally think my growth was stunted around the age of 16. But yeah, I still have my eyes open to what's going on around me politically.
We're going to find out what happened to you on Wednesday.
Bloomdog is a hoe.
Wow. Okay.
John Drake not getting the love.
I guess not.
I don't know.
People in my world hate John. Some of them do.
I love that guy.
Oh, John's great. I love John. I don't care what people think, but yeah, he takes. He and I do solo shows sometimes when Neely's out running around with Dockin, and when we do them, we almost always tend to get really drunk and then just let it fly.
Yeah.
And man, I always think the shows are great. I mean, I think that they're some of the funniest stuff I've ever done. And then I'll see the comments and be like, John sucks. I hate John. He laughs like a dolphin. It's like everybody hates the way he laughs. Everybody hates what he has to say. I think he's great. I'm like, I don't care what anybody thinks. He entertains me, and that's all that matters.
I want to say hi to my friend here listening today. Hello, sir.
All right.
Glad you got it live. We need to get together. We need to hang out. So we'll be in touch. I will be in touch.
There you go.
Good to see you. I woke up politically when I was 30. Drake is awesome. Love the guy. John is entertaining. Love Bloomdoggy. I'm trying to think. When did I start working? When did I get out of the MMS realm? I started there when I was probably 21, 22. And I was there for about 10 years.
Okay.
So I started probably opening my eyes maybe just before 35. So maybe 33, 34.
Sure. Yeah, I believe it.
Because when I was working at MMS, man, I just keep my head in the sand and just listen to some music.
Sure. Yeah, just hanging out, doing your thing.
And I didn't think about politics when I was going to concerts and,
Well, we didn't have social media either. I mean, that's a big thing. We didn't have social media, and it just gets beat into your face with the social media. It's like, ugh.
Social media has been the downfall of everything good in society.
Great.
I mean, the other day, did you see any of the video where Zuckerberg was told to stand up or asked to stand up by one of the, I think, Senator Hawley or whatever his name is? Josh Hawley, I don't know what he is. Anyway, they asked him to stand up and turn around, and there were a bunch of families holding up pictures of their dead children who died either by predators that they met online,
right,
or suicide after being bullied and that kind of. And he had to stare at him, and he tried to make an apology. You could tell it was a heartless, gutless piece of crap apology that didn't mean anything. But that's the reality of social media, and I'm not a big, oh my God, being bullied and everything. But I haven't been. I guess you can call it bullying, being made fun of, and all that kind of stuff. I have a thick skin, so it doesn't really bother me. But there are kids out there that online and social media is really, really screwed up.
Yeah,
and I feel really bad for families like that. And it's really not. We didn't have to deal with that when we were. Look, we're big boys now. We can handle what people say about us online. But a 15-year-old kid, it's a lot different.
It is, and the difference is we were taught to fight back. I can remember my dad telling me point blank, don't ever take any shit off of anybody.
But, again, it's different, I think, because...
Yeah, now, because they can do it from behind a keyboard.
And on top of it, then there's a bunch of them. Then one after another can comment on your photo, or they can make do whatever they want to do. Whereas when we were being made fun of, okay, somebody on the playground is making fun of you, you push them, you punch them in the face, you do whatever you got to do to fight back, and that was okay. It's different now, and
well, you can't throw that punch anymore.
No,
dude,
you can't.
I mean, you remember, dude, in the old days, I went to, this is all the way back to middle school. I went to Streetsboro Middle School, and there was like the school, and then there was a tree line, and then there was like a big field where we used to practice football. And that was always the thing. If you started something in school, you'd be like, meet me after school past the tree line. That was what we would always say, meet me past the tree line. And you would go over past the tree line, you'd throw punches until you were done. Then that was it. It was over. 99% of the time, then you shook hands with the other guy and you were done with it. It was over.
Yeah. I remember in middle school, somebody was making fun of my mom. And we went outside, and he tried to hit me with a trombone. I tried to hit him with a tennis racket. We rolled around on the ground for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It was broken up, and then we went about our day. And then the next time we were in school, we were friends again. It is what it is. But this online stuff is out of control.
Well, it's cowardly, and that's why. It's cowardly, but it's the same as, dude, do you see a lot of these videos now where somebody does try to stand up and like 30 guys pummel them instead of just leaving it one-on-one?
Right.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Online is just a.
It's not a fair fight anymore.
It's not. It's a pack mentality. It really is a pack mentality. Nobody can stand up for themselves. Everybody has to white knight everybody else. It's fucking dumb.
We'll see if my dad is coming on Wednesday. I'll ask him.
Yeah, have him on.
We'll see if that happens Wednesday. Looking forward to that. And then, like I said, Greg Mack from the Fish the following Wednesday.
Cool.
Talk to him, and then anything else we come across, we'll let you
We'll
know.
do. That's right.
Everybody, thank you for listening tonight. Appreciate it. And God willing, we'll talk to you again on Wednesday night.
That's right.
Thank you, Chris, as usual. It was fun.
That was fun.
We will talk to you later.
See ya.